guys, welcome back to another video. If you're enjoying my YouTube, please be sure to go give me that thumbs up and never forget to subscribe so you don't miss a video with me again. About a topic that is very controversial in the hair industry. It is something I'm sure you all have heard been talked about before at some point, either on Instagram, online, wherever. And I just felt like I had to address it, I guess. So I'm going to be talking about why you simply cannot dye your hair and go from super duper dark, pretty much black hair color to like a gorgeous platinum blonde in a single day. So there's a lot of reasons why this just cannot happen. It's as I said before, it's very controversial. A lot of people come into the salon and they're like, no, you can do this. You can make my hair look like this. I'm gonna leave here looking, you know, like platinum blonde and I have black box dye. It just can't happen. It really just cannot. I am not a magician. Hairdressers were not magicians. If you really think that you can go from black to platinum blonde in one sitting, you're gonna leave with your hair in your pocket. Slow and steady wins the race. And with hairdressing, that is so true. It could not be more true than it is when it applies to hairdressing. Slow and steady wins the freaking race. And I'm gonna tell you why. When you come in with super dark hair, it's not just that, you know, we're changing your hair color. In order to go from dark to light, you have to lift the pigment out of the hair. You have to lift all the melanin out of your hair. The melanin is what is in your hair shaft and it gives it the pigment that it has. So in turn, we have to lift all of that out with lightener, also known as bleach, but I don't like to say that word, I say lightener. And it takes a lot of time, you know? There's a lot of underlying pigments in your hair, which I will talk about a little bit later, that really affect how your hair is going to lift. So lifting out that melanin alone is a process, and it might not all come out in one shot. It might not, you know, lift super evenly. Your hair might be a little bit splotchy, depending on what color you've previously put in your hair. Even if you've never dyed your hair before, it's still gonna take some time because we have to lift all that pigment out of that hair to get you to a blonde. That's how it works. I'm sure it's been explained, you know, 100 times over, or maybe this is the first time you're hearing it, but it can't happen. It's one of those things. It just can't. It's honestly the reason why I have a job, because a lot of people will go in and convince their hairdressers to, you know, no, just give it a shot. Let's go. Let's do this, right? And then they end up coming back and they need a full-blown color correction because, you know, their hairdresser's like, hey, this isn't going to happen. And then they leave there thinking that it's going to happen. Then they're not happy. And then they're like, oh, well, I'm not going back to her. She ruined my hair, even though you pretty much gave her permission to ruin her hair. Guys, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. As a hairdresser, as a professional, I want to keep the integrity of your hair. I'm not going to do anything to it that I think is going to damage the crap out of it. I'm not. It's not, no, not happening. Because one, that looks horrible on me because you're going to go around and say that I'm the hairdresser that ruined your hair, which I never want to be that, ever. And two, you know, don't you want your hair to be healthy? Don't you want your hair to be like nice and healthy and flowy and, you know, all that? Like, don't you want that? Don't you want that? I mean, I think I would want that. For that matter, if you've ever gone into like a Rite Aid or a CVS and you've picked up a box of hair color, gone home, went in your bathroom, made a mess everywhere and colored your hair, I'm telling you, girlfriend, that is not good. I couldn't tell you what is even in those box dyes. They're horrible. They're absolutely horrendous. That also is another reason why I've got job security, because again, color corrections, A lot of you guys, you know, in the meantime, in between hair appointments, you want to get rid of your grays. You end up with like flaming orange roots, right? You know, I understand the frustration of, you know, maybe your stylist is too booked to, you know, get you in when you need to. Or maybe you just don't have the time and you need something that's gonna, you know, work in like 10 minutes in your bathroom at 10 o'clock at night. I don't know. Everyone's situation is different, and I really empathize with you because you want to look your best, you want to feel your best, and I want you to look and feel your best. But it's just not the correct approach to it, especially if you're trying to change your hair color. Box color is a whole other conversation for a whole other video, but it plays a part in this as well because those box colors are going to be like 5 times as harder to lift out of your hair as if you've gotten it professionally colored or it's, you know, natural virgin hair. So that also plays a factor if you've had box dye in your hair previously or you currently have box dye and you're in the salon looking to go lighter. That also plays a huge effect because it's going to be much, much harder to lift out of your hair, and it's in turn going to take longer, and you're going to need to come back for 2 to 3 sessions depending on what you look like now and what your end goals are. Also, if you have hard water or you have any kind of mineral buildup on your hair, that might play a factor. You could have a chemical reaction that could end up resulting in you needing to come back for another session or 2 because, you know, now I'm aware that you have hard water and it's going to be a little bit hard to get the color the way we want it because those minerals in there are going to affect how your hair is going to lift. And that's a whole other issue too. I mean, it's nothing that can't be done. It just has to be done in steps, plain and simple. So the mineral buildup, the box color, you know, depending on how dark you are, how, you know, much you have to lift out of your hair, how much melanin you have to lift, all of that plays into it. There is so much more that goes into lightening the hair, changing the color of the hair that anybody really understands. And that's why I'm here. You know, I don't want you to think that it's impossible. I don't want you to think that it's impossible because it's not. It's just not realistic to go in with super dark hair and, you know, thinking that you're gonna come out like a platinum blonde. It's just not realistic. If that's the other thing, you need to set realistic goals for yourself and for your hair. If you know your hair is resistant to hair color, or you know you have hard water at home and you might have a little bit of a mineral buildup, or whatever the case may be in tune with that and just kind of set that expectation like, you know what, I want to leave looking like this, but I may not be able to because of this, this, and this. Like, set that expectation for yourself. That's very important because, again, I just want to make you happy. I don't want to tell you that what you're thinking is unrealistic. I don't want to tell you that it can't be done. I want to make you feel awesome. But, you know, unfortunately, part of my job to making you feel awesome is giving you that reality check like, hey, I don't think this is going to happen. I really want to keep the integrity of your hair, you know, and then I'll suggest what I think is best depending on your end goal. I think the hardest thing to get everyone on board with is, you know, when hairstylists say that there's a lot of underlying pigments in your hair. So I'm actually going to show you that just so you have a much better visual kind of idea of what we're talking about because I don't know, I'm a very visual person, obviously, so I feel like if I kind of showed you rather than told you, it would be a little bit easier for you guys to grasp kind of what, you know, I think a lot of hairdressers are trying to say, you know, with as far as the underlying pigments in your hair go. So I'm going to insert that here now for you. Okay guys, so this is what I really wanted to touch on today because I feel like it's so much easier to show you than to tell you. So as you can see, I pulled a picture from Modern Salon, which is like a huge Instagram account for hairdressers. And on the left side there, those are all the natural levels of the hair. So that's like your dirty blonde, your natural browns, your natural black, all that. And then on the right side, those are all the underlying pigments to the corresponding natural level of the hair. So you see how as it, towards the top where, it's black, it's, all those red colors, all those oranges, pretty much brown as it gets darker, honestly. And then as the hair gets lighter in those natural levels on the left, you see the right side getting lighter along with it. So that's, your kind of orangey yellows, your yellow, your light yellow. So that's all the underlying pigments in the hair. So this right here is the exact reason and science why you can't just lift through the hair in one shot. It takes a lot of time. And that is like the biggest misconception, and I feel like it's just easier, again, to show you rather than just kind of try to tell you with my words. I feel like if you see it, it's a little bit easier. And then here, see, like I love this photo of the coffee because it's so cute, and it's very aesthetically pleasing, I feel, but it's also, again, shows you kind of what your hair would look like, if you did, go slow and steady, and through the first, second, or third process, that's what your hair is going to look like. You can make brass really pretty. Gold and orange are gorgeous in the hair. Gold and copper, I feel, are so pretty if they're done right. So you can really make the process a beautiful process. You might not want those warmer brassy tones in there, but unfortunately that's just what you have to do. So you can make them really beautiful if they're done right. And again, like you have to kind of just go with it, so you're gonna look like this before you can really, have that beautiful buttery platinum blonde. You're gonna have some gold, you're gonna have some caramel, you're gonna have some coppery tones in there, not for long, because once you lift through them, they're not coming back. But maybe for the first session or two, depending on how dark you are, you might have to just kind of go with it, So that is definitely what I wanted to touch on the most today, and I hope that made sense. I hope that helped you a little bit, just seeing it versus me just, again, telling you. And yeah, that's definitely what I wanted to get across to you guys. Okay guys, so I hope all that made sense for you. I hope you have a little bit better of a visual now of what, we've been talking about. And it's just not as easy as it seems on our I almost said Pinterest. Well, Pinterest too. On our Pinterest and Instagram feeds, it's just not that easy. It's something to be mindful of next time you go get your hair done. And I hope it helped you. So yeah, it's just, the underlying pigments in the hair is probably the main thing that I can't stress enough. Just pay attention to your hair, what it looks like, what it feels like, and pay attention, if you have hard water at home, if you have used box color, currently have box color in your hair, slow and steady wins the race. It's so true, especially for everything I talked about, and I hope this helped you out a lot. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any comments, questions, requests, anything, please comment below. Send me a DM over on my Instagram, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.